Welcome inside of the most relaxing and comfortable time of the night. Ladies, you know I can't put you to sleep tonight, but I am going to put you to bed. But I'm going to put you to bed tonight because we have good company dropping by. You know, I am privileged to have two distinguished gentlemen with us tonight who have created history. One is a little bit ahead of the other, but this younger brother is definitely on the pathway to doing greater things. He's already done. But it is a pleasure to be welcoming the renowned film director, TV director, producer, who has done it all, and he's still doing it. And he's still knocking down doors and opening up opportunities for many. And that is Brother Lee Daniels. And joining us tonight, in addition to Lee Daniels, is another man who is making history. The youngest in Broadway history, African-American brother who has his own stage play on Broadway called Ain't No More. It's a pleasure to be welcomed, Jordan E. Cooper. Gentlemen, welcome to the Quiet Storm. It took you all a while to come to the most sexiest place in the city, but you're here.
Quiet Storm.
Smokey may not like that, though. Lee Daniels, Jordan, man, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
The show, Ain't No More, just opened up on Thursday, officially. It was in previews for how long?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And I just want to say congratulations. The reviews have come out. I've already toasted these gentlemen with champagne. The reviews that came out, are you pleased by what you have read and what people are saying so far?
Like, we try not to read.
Oh.
We try not to read.
But we do listen to audience.
We do listen to, yeah. We try not to read because it's too terrifying. Pay attention to the one thing, the one word that is negative or you misconstrue.
It could throw you off.
It can throw you off. You know?
With all that you have both accomplished, though, still at this stage of the game?
Yeah, I really try not to. I'll be able to read these a lot more effortlessly than I can read my own because it's his work and not mine. I'm just producing him, so I can write. You know what I mean? I can sort of, but as a producer, it's I'm obligated to read them. As an artist, it's very hard to read your reviews because you're interpreting them. You're letting someone else, and most of the time that they're white people, that are trying to understand your world, trying to get into your head. And so, from my whole career, I've watched white people not understand me and sort of shut me out, but been forced to sort of recognize me. So I say that unless you know to put hot sauce on fried chicken, and unless you know really to calibrate your vinegar and your collard greens, you do not understand the world that I'm serving you.
Well, let me just commend you, sir, and thank you, among many voices that want to be in this seat right now, to thank you for the many meetings that you've taken, for the many conversations that you've had in educating and informing them about us, our culture, our people, our greatness, which kind of ties all back to a very symbolic figure, that item that I saw in the stage play, Ain't No More. And that was the bag, which I got to talk about the bag.
Yeah.
But thank you, though.
You're welcome.
Brother Lee Daniels, because without you leading the charge and constantly having these meetings, this young brother here, Jordan E. Cooper, would not be on Broadway.
Oh, thank you very much.
So it's
but
a
it
change.
is my duty, it is my obligation. It is not about me anymore. You reach a certain point where, my first movie, I was responsible for the first African American woman to win an Academy Award. I was responsible for the first black writer to win an Academy Award. It's not about you anymore. At 62, it is about. God has told me that it is about him. It is about him so that he knows that it's not about him when the time is right.
I'm glad you.
Don't make me shout up in here.
I know that's right, because he definitely is a preacher.
Right.
But Jordan.
No, this nigga's a preacher.
No, really.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
Don't
Jordan,
get him going.
Jordan. 27 years young.
Yes.
Man, you got a whole road and mountains to climb, and you have all the energy to do it.
Yeah.
But brother, what inspired you to write Ain't No More? Where did this come from?
Yeah, you know, I always say I have a dark sense of humor. So like, whenever all those unarmed shootings of black men and black women were happening around the country, I had to find something to laugh about. Literally, I'm the person at funerals who always talks about like, why is her wig crooked? Why is
No
she
way.
wearing a bra and she going 6 feet under? Like the woman want to be free. Jesus would let her titties hang out if she want them to hang out in the coffin.
Oh my God.
And so I just had to find my way. You know how we lock memories in our head.
Yeah.
I was doing an interview about the show recently and started really thinking about, somebody asked me a very specific question and made me really remember the impetus of what happened and why I really started to sit down and think about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I was at a 7-Eleven on 14th Street in New York, and I was always go get my red slushy that was about $1.25, and I used to eat trash. And I was standing next to a police officer at the line, and I reached up to grab the red slushy to like put it in the thing, and he grabbed his gun. He like reached over to grab his gun, and I remember putting my hands up and then just letting it down, and then he kind of like gave me a nod, and then went on about his business. And I remember going back home and just thinking like, wow, I could have really lost my life over $1.25 slushy that don't even taste good.
Mm.
That don't even taste good.
That's real.
And I just had to find myself thinking about my own worth and how much I matter, and all the things that we go through, even beyond police brutality. And I just said, well, why don't we just get the hell up out of here? Why don't we all just pack up and say deuces and go back to Africa?
Mm.
Right? And so that's kind of where the play came from, was this idea of what if we just, all of our troubles, what if we just left them in the water and we just went and got on a plane and just left and never looked back? And I started writing from that place, and all these characters and all these worlds started coming. And I started to really find out answers to that question of what if, and how complicated it is to just leave everything behind and give up everything that we've created and we built here.
His name is Jordan E. Cooper. He is the stage writer, the playwright of this hit, Amazing. I'm calling it a hit already, even though it just opened up, because it is a hit. There's a hit, amazing stage play called Ain't No More. And we're going to come back with the what ifs. Lee Daniels is with us tonight. But I'm going to throw it to both of you gentlemen for a minute, because I'm dealing with two different eras. I know you love R&B music.
Yes.
So Lee, give me one, just one, Lee. I know you have a whole catalog in the library of great R&B slow jams. What's your favorite?
My favorite are Joey, Natalie Cole.
I like that. We're going to do that. And Jordan, I can almost understand where you're coming from, but R&B, slow jam, what would be yours?
Oof. This is hard because I feel like it changes depending on my mood. I will say right now, it's Carl Thomas, I Wish.
That's a hell of a situation.
Yeah.
Hell of a situation.
Yeah.
Let's get into
You looked odd when I said Joey, Natalie Cole.
because I had to think to Joey, because most people don't
Oh, I go into
forgot
the
about
flip
Joey.
side,
I hear you.
B side.
Yeah, the B-side.
I love that. Lee Daniels, Jordan E. Cooper with us inside the Quiet Storm. It's soft, it's warm, it's comfortable, and it's cozy and informative because we have two of the most distinguished men in the world sitting in our company tonight. So you might as well keep on sipping on what you're sipping on, because we have Mr. Lee Daniels and Mr. Jordan E. Cooper. Look, if you don't know about Jordan E. Cooper, if you don't know about this brother, and you live in the tri-state area and you're locked in on WBLS, please make it a point to get to the Belasco Theater on West 44th Street. Get your tickets, and there's probably already now a waiting list to see this hilarious stage play called Ain't No More. And I want to come back with the question, because we've all had this question. We've all heard about this question. Well, why don't you just go back to Africa?
Because we can't. We can't go back
But
to
can you
Africa. That's what I
imagine, though?
learned from Jordan's play. That, because I've thought about that too. Why don't we just get the hell up out of here and go? But we can't, because what that bag represents is everything that we have here. We built America. It's our music, it's our sports, it's our fashion, it's our swag. It is, and it's our history of all of that is here. So what are we going back to? And who are we without that? And that's what his play that's the light bulb that went off in my head that made me say, every black person, every person in America has to see this.
They really do. And I think it's an educational awareness if they do get a chance to see it. The significance of the bag, and I know you may not understand, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about, but
Oh,
once
there
you
they
see
go.
this play-
Bag? What?
A bag.
What's what bag?
The bag, yeah, the bag.
Yeah, it's Miss Bag.
Bad lady.
it's not associated to Miss Pat, which we're going to talk about as well, but it's Miss Bag, and the bag is very significant in this play.
Yeah.
And I wonder what happens to, aside from you being the playwright and the creator of this play, you're also a lead actor in this play.
Yeah.
And it leaves you in suspense. So it has to be a part 2 to this. Because what happens?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What happens now?
Yeah.
And look, I know I'm
Well, let's get to part 1. Let's get through part 1.
Let's do part 1. So please make it a point to definitely do that. But Brother Lee Jordan, Lee Michaels, Brother Lee Daniels, I wonder if you saw a lot of yourself in this Brother Jordan.
In Jordan?
Yeah, because and just looking at your history,
Yeah.
you worked with Prince.
Yeah.
On 2 of his major projects when it came to film. You've done a lot of what he did initially. Did you see the creativeness?
It was the beauty of his naivete that really, that I saw so much of myself in. When I was his age, it was pre-Spike Lee. There weren't any black filmmakers, writers that I could look up to, that I could even aspire to be, let alone somebody gay. Yeah. So, I can't believe I'm even saying that in my lifetime that that there wasn't anybody for me to mentor me. Yeah. And so when you see someone like with Jordan, there was no way that I wasn't going to have his word everywhere, because I know that I know what he's going to do for his generation.
And when you hear these words from a man of his status, Jordan, where does that emotionally take you?
It's truly a gift, because, there are so few. He's talking about what he had, but he's among the few of what I have, which I'm grateful for, because that in itself shows the progress, that you didn't have anything, but you could be this for so many people. The thing that, I didn't have, because I've been writing plays since I was 7 years old. I was hustling. I used to hand out flyers in Times Square. I used to max out credit cards so I could rent out spaces. I was the set designer. I was the light designer. I was the makeup person. I was the costume person. And I didn't have resources. I didn't really have the access that I needed. I had the stories, but I didn't have, the stage. And Lee says, I see your stories. I see what you want to do. I see how you want to do it, and I'm going to help you do it beyond what you can imagine.
And you know what? I think that's that little part that he saw in you, that brilliance and your desire and your passion to just push forward. So now that you're on Broadway, Lee, this is your first Broadway production.
Yeah.
And many more to come.
Oh, I don't know about that. Unless he's doing it. I don't know. I really, okay. Can I tell you something? I don't know. Hit it.
It's different.
Check the box. Check the box.
I understand.
Yeah, but I said that about movies when I after Halle won the Academy Award. I said I don't. It doesn't get any higher than this. I've reached the pinnacle. I don't want to do this again. I've checked. I wanted to go and teach some. I don't know what I want to do. I didn't think I was going to. I know.
You said,
it's crazy.
Now. So you're doing this not because of you. You're doing this because of a higher supreme.
Mm-hmm.
But film and TV are totally different from Broadway.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I did not know what I was doing when I did Monsters Ball, and I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing Precious, and I directed Precious. I didn't know what I was doing when I was created Empire. I didn't know.
You didn't know
nothing. Didn't know what I'm doing here. Like I've done everything wrong. They say you got to put stars in. They say you gotta don't put your own money in. They say all these rules, and but I have to go with what God tells me to do, and listen, and really listening to Him. Like why are you bringing in your talent to the marketing of it all? Don't bring your talent. No, I don't. I have to go with He knows this show better than anybody. He knows the culture. Yeah. He knows. So I do everything wrong.
Everything wrong turns out to be right.
Yeah.
I hope so.
They always say no.
I can't begin. I think we all can.
Listen, the stories.
No.
I had a professor in college, literally, because I was doing my own thing outside of school. I was doing a play, and I was rehearsing and I was writing, and I showed up to class late one day, and he was like, why are you wasting your time on these plays that you're doing?
Wow.
Nobody's ever going to produce your play out of college.
He said that to you.
He said that to me. This was another person who was a playwright.
What a
Said nobody's ever
disappointment.
going to. That doesn't.
You know his
happen.
name?
I'm not gonna say his name.
But you do know his
I
name.
do know his name.
Lee-
yeah, yeah,
Lee
yeah.
Wayne.
But
How you doing, sir? You watched The Quiet Storm?
For real, for
So
real.
look, you got. I've been to the stage show, and it's a wonderful thing. Ain't no more. Your review, because I know you pay attention to reaction. I know you pay attention to audience, and that's one thing that film and TV can't give you immediately. You can actually see the visualization of how people react to certain things. So your observation, Lee, as the producer of this wonderful stage play,
That they don't. They're running out of the theater like their hair's on fire. They don't. They need moments to process it and to reprocess it. And they ain't ever seen, because there's never been anything like it before on Broadway. So there's nothing to compare it to. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a little George Wolfe, early George Wolfe, from Colored Museum, a little bit. But this is today. And a lot of, and so my intent with people, and the reason that I'm really behind this is that I want to make sure that, my nephews that would rather spend a couple $100s on a pair of Nike sneakers than come to Broadway, that this is for them now. This is not, I don't want to be the only spot in the spot when I'm coming to a Broadway show. This boy is now mobbed as he's coming out of the theater, okay?
Yes,
He's now a star. He's now a Broadway star.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I asked him, I go, Jordan, so how is it going to be going back in to your little hovel, writing a television show for somebody else?
Okay.
I want you to answer.
It's gonna be interesting. It's like I feel like I have two different versions of myself. I feel like because on the Miss Pat show, I show run, I EP, I write, and I direct, which is cool.
Right.
And it's people. Most people in that world have no idea what I do in this world, and most people in this world have no idea what I do in that world. So I'm really blessed to have two different versions of myself. It's gonna be weird for sure, coming, because it's two completely different mediums. One, I'm on stage every night, you know what I mean, and the other one, I'm taking care of the talent, you know what I mean. So it's
Well, I think we'll always keep you humble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
also,
rich. Rich.
You said that too,
That's
and
because here's the thing: the TV pays for this wonderful medium of theater.
Yeah.
At 27, where were you?
27. Where was I? 27. I was probably casting. I think I was casting.
Casting and managing.
I wasn't managing. Yeah, I was casting. I think.
Okay.
I think I was working on Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Wow.
That I got fired from with Felicia Rashad.
Shad, yeah.
Yes. and it was the first time I interviewed and met Vanessa Williams, and it was just like she came in, she was so stunning. It was right after the controversy, and she came in and she just was, and I was like, and she made me question my sexuality.
Wow.
I was like, she was stunning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hypnotizing.
Yeah, totally hypnotizing. Beautiful woman.
See my new upcoming TV show. What is Lee Daniels doing? I mean, beyond this, because I know you're multitasking.
Yeah, I am. I'm in the middle of. I'm editing my horror movie for Netflix. So I'm with Glenn Close and Monique and Andra Day, who starred with me for Billie Holiday, and and Ingenue Ellis. So I'm with doing that, and then I go from there to his show, which is now taking a little bit of a hiatus for me because I don't have to do the rehearsals anymore.
You were there, everyone, huh?
Not all of them. I have somebody that's Jeremy Green, who's just incredible. My right hand, who's been there primarily for me, back and forth. And then I'm in the writers' room creating my new limited series on Sammy Davis Jr., The Life of Sammy Davis Jr. for Hulu. So that's an 8-part limited series, and I'm just about to hire a bunch of writers hired half of the room, and we're about to take off and do his story.
Can I pry a little bit and ask, who have you selected for Sammy?
Yeah, Elijah Kelly.
Wow.
Do you know Elijah?
I've heard of Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah was in this.
He's fire.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He was in Butler for me.
Yes.
He was in the Butler for me. He played Oprah's youngest son, and he was in Star. But he was in something. He was in like
He was in The Wiz Live. If you remember The Wiz Live, he was the Scarecrow. He did Michael Jackson's role.
Yeah.
In that. What else? Hairspray. He was
Yep.
in
Good for
Hairspray.
you. This is a walking encyclopedia. This is you got to keep with you. Just keep him with you. He'll walk. This is what happens when you're 27 and just keep him in your say talk. No, Elijah is the very few people that were able to sing, act, and tap and dance. Tap and dance. It's a hard thing to do. So I was able to get bullseye with him. And I don't know who's going to play. The conceit of this is Alex Haley is interviewing him, and Alex Haley. This was post his autobiography on the Malcolm X. It was an actual interview that Alex Haley did for the Playboy Playboy magazine,
Yes.
which I learned too that Alex Haley turned Playboy from smut into intellectual smut because he started all of the interviews that he So he interviews Sammy, but he didn't like Sammy. He, like my mother, didn't like Sammy Davis Jr. So he thought Sammy was an Uncle Tom.
I think
he thought Sammy was Uncle Tom. I'm doing it because my mom don't like him. So I'm saying, Mom, guess what? Sammy is responsible for financing a lot of the civil rights movement. He was behind King. And the reason why he was hugged up on Nixon was because he was supportive of John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy went out and raised all that money for John F. Kennedy. But then when it came time for John F. Kennedy to invite him to the inaugural, John F. Kennedy wouldn't invite him to the inaugural because he was married to a white woman. So he said, okay, I got you. I got you. And so he was on Richard Nixon from that point on.
I think your mama knows my mama. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
We compared notes
Yes.
before the show. Hey, look, gentlemen, I want you to leave us with something inspiring about Ain't No More and why you need to go and see this.
Ain't No Mo is a revolution. It's taking Broadway, which is normally, not always for us. You know what I mean? And it's turning it into a family reunion. It's turning it into an HBCU homecoming. It's turning it into this is our space and we're going to take it over. And we're going to laugh how we want to laugh and we're going to talk back like we want to talk back and we're going to dance how we want to dance and have a good time. And we're going to ask questions and we're going to challenge ourselves and the people around us. It is a communal experience, something that is it will blow your mind, I promise you. If you come, we got to turn it out. We got to turn it out. We got to make it look like Broadway has never looked before.
And you have done that. And
Oh,
will
he's done
continue
that.
to. Yeah, you
And
done.
anybody that has appreciated Empire, anybody that's appreciated The Butler, anybody that's appreciated Precious or any of my work, any of that work, this is that on steroids because it's live. It's live in your face.
It's turned up, baby.
Yeah.
So please make it a point to get to Broadway and see Ain't No More. And I hope that we will see you on a more regular basis when time permits. I know you guys are busy, but I thank you for coming in and kicking back and chilling down. Sometimes you have to slow your pace down and just enjoy the flowers.
Well, thank you very much, Lenny. Because you go sit there. The quiet storm got me quiet.
Listen, I want to go take a nap. I'm ready to get my bubble bath.
And you should. You should.
Yeah.
And you should. I don't know who you got, man, working backstage, man, but those actors on stage, who's changing them?
Listen,
They change.
the crew backstage.
Oh, you have like what?
Yeah.
Three people to one person?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Like
They're
those
moving
quick
fast.
changes
No,
are
it's wonderful.
wild.
Because for you to change this in the blink of an eye, it's just amazing. You got to see the play. I don't want to give the play away because you're going to be amazed. You're going to be blown away. I was blown away when I saw the play. It took me a while to understand one scene, but I got it. That's all I could say. And I thank y'all very
Thank
much.
you.
Lee Daniels, Jordan E. Cooper, Inside the Quiet Storm. Watch out for them.